Exploring the taco culture in Texas through the eyes of the people in the Lone Star.
Keep it out, son. Turn around and smile. Dream we could have was fall.
Delivered some more great matches. But you know, he got out with his brains, he got out with his money, he got out with his health, and his bones are all relatively intact. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've always been proud of him. I like him. I hope he comes back. I hope it's not the last story we ever hear from him. But you know, wrestling moves on. They'll find another. They already found another punk.
Welcome back to I'm ready to talk now.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm gonna welcome myself back. I think it just feels right to just welcome me back. Hello. I've been away for like 3 months, basically. I haven't done shit for like 3.5 months. I haven't done anything since my previous episode, and I literally packed shit away and then just said I don't want to touch anything or look at anything for a while, and I stuck to my guns on that one. I didn't really do much. I was drawing a little bit and kind of just reading up on graphic novels and some other books, and just going to record shops and just enjoying myself. So I hope that you all did the same during this I guess another hectic but same old usual break that everyone takes during the holidays. I know it's frustrating. I know people are just crazy and desperate, and quite frankly it's sad, but I hope everyone's re-energized and we can start this whole thing all over again, because it's endless, is it not? Anyway, I'm glad that you guys are back, and also too, thank you once again for your love and support and all of that from the messages that I received from my previous episode. Thank you guys very much. It meant the world to me, and thank you. Seriously, I truly do mean it. I'm terrible at thanking people, I think. So anyway, let's kind of get started here. Just hear me out for just a second before we truly get started. I think sometimes people don't realize they're staring directly at the correct answers. Just due to our mind just being so fogged up all the goddamn time. You gotta really look close to see the hurt and the sickness in people's eyes. It's the most uncomfortable thing. I'm pretty sure it is. And I'm talking about like dangerously close, and that's what I mean by it's uncomfortable. So I like to think that we've been conditioning, even maybe programming ourselves to interact within this entertainment world that's been created, throughout the years. We live in a society full of entertainment, right? Like Hollywood entertainment, and social media has completely seeped its way through the real world. That's how I feel a lot of the times. Basically, we are no longer able to tell pure happiness from the sick. Everyone is putting on a fucking performance, and we don't know who's truly happy anymore, and I feel like it's getting worse, and it's going to continue to get worse. So, anyway, I digress. I'm going to tell y'all a little story about how I met the one and only CM Punk. I worked in TV news for 12 years, broadcast news. And I was only doing morning shifts since I started. I never wanted to go to the evenings. I was approached, along with some of my friends, were approached to go to evenings, but I just didn't. I don't know. I just didn't like the vibe of the evening timers. I just didn't like it. So I chose to stay on the morning side. It afforded me I guess a bit of a, I wouldn't call it like a nightlife, but just knock it out. It was one of those things where I was like, just knock it out. You can knock out this thing, go home at noon, take a nap or something, go work out. You have the rest of the day, evening to do whatever you like. Of course, and I'm really, really young at that time. So, anything from parties and going downtown and hanging out and just staying up super late, and I could do whatever I want as long as just be responsible and get up at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning, or something, 3:30. So as I mentioned, I've been doing this for so long, and by this time, pretty much slightly beforehand, I was getting burnt out. I was done. I was looking for, a way out. I needed to do something else with my life. The career that I had was feeling more like a job, just a regular job. Things had changed. All kinds of stuff had changed within a company. It's gonna happen. You go from this small, local, super independent news station to, you have real investors who are coming in, and the real suits were coming in, and different corporations are looking at you. We were a CBS affiliate, but all these other companies were looking at us to buy us and all this stuff, and things change. That's just life. So anyway, like every other morning, waking up super early, gotta go in and put on this 3.5 hour, 4 hour show, morning show. And it's grueling. I think and it can also get really boring, in my opinion. So if you know anything about the news business or whatever, morning news is it's rinse, wash, repeat, basically. So you do like a full hour, and then you just re-rack and you do that bitch again, basically. Because everybody has different times of when they're waking up and all this stuff, and so everything's the same. The only thing that's possibly could be different is maybe if there's breaking news, or if there's like a difference in traffic, as the morning proceeds. It's just slightly different. But the news stories that we're covering are almost like a copy paste thing from the evening side, the night side news. and producers are, up at, coming in graveyard shift style and, repeating what the other producers have already written. They kind of update it if there is an update and blah, 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 blah. So I'm coming in, and at this time, I'm already a director slash, technical director, but at that point, I was calling the shows, the morning shows. And I come in, turn on the board, and, you turn on your computer and blah, 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 and you're kind of setting up for the show. So we had this thing called iNews, and this is what we were using to create the rundown. And the producers have, are sending you, this is what we're doing for the show. We just got to make the camera shots. And, as I'm going through the rundown, creating these camera shots and all this stuff, we have an interview. And, first off, I'd like to state that, I am a major wrestling fan, a professional wrestling fan. I like a lot of the promotions, always have, and by this time, of course, everybody knows who WWE is, right? Everybody knows. It's a household company. So by that time, things had gotten weird with that company. I think they were going through they were doing this whole PG style, which that technically they're still in, I guess. And, I got turned off by it, so, I'm watching, Ring of Honor and Impact and a little bit of New Japan, and, anyway, I'm working on my rundown, getting the shots, and I noticed that normally we have like a couple interviews, within those 4 hours, maybe a couple to a few, depending on the day, whether it be pets or some cooking shit or whatever. Some pseudo celebrity will come in or whatever. And I see CM Punk on the rundown, on the notes. And I'm like, CM Punk? I'm like, maybe that's a typo. I'm not watching Raw, SmackDown, any of that shit anymore. So I don't know who's coming to town. I have no clue. I don't know. I don't care. As time goes by, we're probably about 20 minutes out from showtime. The producer, Jose, comes in, and I don't know if he caught wind of me being a professional wrestling fan. I don't know. I have no idea where he heard that from. But he came in, and maybe he was, I don't know that. And he came in, and he's like, hey, good morning, blah, 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 what's up? I'm like, nothing much, man, let's get this show over with. And he's like, hey, did you see the CM Punk's coming in? And I was like, so that wasn't a typo. He's like, nah, man, CM Punk's coming in. I'm like, okay, that's great. All right. So he leaves. We're setting things up, and it's almost showtime. So mind you guys, this is a 3.5 hour or whatever, 3 hour, 4 hour show. I think it was like a 3 hour show at that time. So let's just say it was a 3 hour show. So we got to go through basically like 2.5 hours before Punk arrives to the station. We're going through the, rinse, wash, repeat. Rinse, wash, repeat. So as we're doing the show, we're having a really good show, if I can remember correctly. We got to go to break. And we normally do interviews, like the really big interviews, the last 30 minutes of the broadcast. And we go to break, and Jose gets word from the phone call into the control room that CM Punk has arrived, and he's getting excited, and I'm doing my job, so I can't really fully get into it, but I'm like, okay, that's fucking cool. All right. And come back from break, and we're doing some more stuff, and then we go to break, and then it's almost time to do the interview, and then his assistant, I guess that's who she was, they walk into the studio, and he sits down, and our audio op, Diana, walks out there to go give him a microphone and strap a mic to him and all this stuff. And he's just sitting there, very calm and just hanging out. And so they're moving cameras over, and I'm just watching them move cameras, and we're seeing what shot works best and yada yada yada. And this is where things start to get really weird, and I can't stress this enough. Like, I wasn't in a good place. I needed to leave, and I was just waiting for this show to be over with. Like, I just want this shit to be done. So as we're setting up cameras, I don't know if he intentionally was looking at the camera or what, but the dude was just staring at the camera, and I think he was just checking out the studio, honestly, but he was just like staring. But it looked like he was looking directly in the lens, and I'm not lying. Punk looked like he was one of the most miserable human beings I had ever seen in my life. The dude just looked tired, he looked sad, and he just looked like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't care about this anymore. I'm beat to shit. I don't give a fuck anymore. But guess what? I'm a professional, and I gotta do these interviews. I gotta promote the show. I didn't know Raw was even in town. Like, he's there to promote Raw because they came to the Frank Erwin Center. And the dude had probably been up before I woke up, possibly. And he's got to do 6 more of those. Got to go to the other news stations and do some more press. And then he's got to probably get maybe a couple hours of sleep and then go to the fucking venue and prep and all this shit. That dude was fucking tired. And he's just staring, like, off in the distance and directly in the camera, and it's just weird. And there was a point during that commercial break where I just stared at that man. I just stared at him, at the monitors. I think people were maybe talking to me in my ear about, how does this shot look? I think we're good. I don't know what the fuck happened. I just know that I wasn't home anymore, and I was just looking at this man. And I felt like I felt something where I was like, this dude, I think that we feel the same exact way. His profession is completely different from mine, but I think the production aspect of it, the waking up early, the not feeling appreciated, all this was just going through my mind. And I finally snapped out of it, because Master Control is, counting us down. We're like at, 1 minute, till we come back. And I'm like, okay, cool. All right, here we go. And yeah, I snap out of it, go right back into work mode. And then we get this interview out the way. Interview's done, go back to commercial break. We come back, we do like a little fluffer kicker or whatever the fuck, and then something happy, and then someone does their little, the meteorologist will do her little thing and about weather and clear skies or whatever the fuck, and then traffic, blah blah blah, and then bam, we in the show, nice pull out, bam, we're done. And I just took off my headset and I just sat there in the chair, because once that was done, I was like, this is great. Okay, we're done now. So after our shows, we always do like a post show meeting, and we got to go out there, run over some notes, what the mistakes were on our end, on the on the anchors end, the producers end, blah blah blah. Everyone gets shit off their chest, I guess, or whatever. So we do all that, and Jose, I think we're about to like wrap up our meeting, and Jose comes in and says, "Hey guys, CM Punk is still here in the building. If you guys want photos, come get a photo with him or something." And I'm like, yeah, I've never really felt that comfortable doing those things. I'm just not really like that. I've missed so many opportunities in my life to like meet people who I have looked up to, and I just cower out, and I just go away. I can't do it. I turtle up, and that's it. So I go back to the control room, and I'm just sitting at my desk and surfing the fucking web or something, and Jose comes in through the control room and say, "Hey, Jamil, hey, listen, Punk is outside, or he's in the newsroom. You want to come hang out and get a photo with him?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't want to, man." He's like, "Dude, come on, man. He's not gonna come back. So, come get a photo or something." I was like, "No." He leaves. I forgot that I needed to go into the newsroom. There was some shit that I had to go do, and I completely forgot about it. I was like, "Oh, fuck, I need to go do this thing." I go out there. Jose is already taking photos with them. I think there were like 2 other people, but he was gracious enough to stay because he truly had to leave. I know that for a fact. And I'm blowing past people, and I need to go do what I needed to go do. I think it was the edit bay. I needed to go into the edit bay to go grab something. And Jose spots me, and he ends up yelling out,
"Hey, Jamil! Hey, come take a photo!"
It's okay, man. He's got to go, but he's cool with taking photos. I'm like, "No, I'm cool, man." And I'm looking at this dude, and I'm like, "No, I'm good." Which probably looked like I was just a piece of shit person, because I'm like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't care. I don't give a fuck about this guy." I don't, but deep down inside, like, yeah, this dude's fucking amazing. And I've watched this man's career in Ring of Honor and, TNA, and I've seen this man's career, and fuck. And I'm just like, nah, I don't give a fuck him. And he looks at me, and we just lock eyes. These most miserable eyes from these 2 men. And he's like, "Do you want a photo, man?" And I'm like, no, not really. He's like, "Come on, man. Come on, let's do a photo. It's cool. It's fine." And I'm like, "All right, fine." And Jose takes the photo of me and Punk side by side. I shake his hand, and I'm like, "Thanks, man." I think I said thanks, cool. I'm just not fucking feeling it, man. And fuck. He leaves. I kind of feel bad, but I'm also like, I want to go home. I still got like 6 hours to go or something. And Jose emails me the photo, and I don't look at it till I get home. I go through the rest of the morning, and whatever bullshit things I had to do that day, editing or whatever after the shows. And I get home, and I look at the photo. I shit you not, guys. I'm not joking. It's a sad photo. It's a very, very sad photo. I think he kind of almost like I guess he was like smirking in a way, in a smirk, a sad smile. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm sad. He's sad. Everybody's just fucking sad. And I just started laughing as I'm looking at this photo. I started laughing. And I said, this is fucking terrible. And I walked downstairs into the kitchen. And I just sit there in the kitchen. And that was probably when I decided that I needed to leave the station. I needed to go. I thought about it a lot after that, but I think that was when I said I can't do this anymore and I need to figure out a way to leave. I'm not happy. This is no longer a career. This is just some job. I'm working with people who are just fucking yes people. They don't give a fuck about anybody. They care about the money only. They don't care about their employees. Raises aren't a thing. Appreciation wasn't given. If it was fake as shit. I was just done with the company. I was done with the corporate aspect of it. And it no longer felt like home. It no longer felt like a place where I could go and actually learn something and work with like genuine like peers. That era of news was gone. It was it. That was it. That was done. So, I truly am grateful for the shit photo op. If it probably wasn't for Punk coming in, and me not looking at that guy and seeing a reflection in the mirror, because that's what it was to me. I'm not saying I will still be there or whatever, but something had to be done, and I wasn't, and I guess I wasn't willing to make that decision. I had seen this man's career, but I can't really see it because he's got to perform. He's got to be on, so I'm not really seeing it. But I had the opportunity to see it outside of his company. I got a chance to see Phil. I got a chance to actually see what it's like outside that company where you don't have to turn that shit on and be the performer. You can just be you. And that motherfucker was miserable. And I saw it. So it wasn't that long after where I started really looking for other work and making that work. The Band-Aid. I had to put on that Band-Aid. I had to go find that Band-Aid, put it on, and then go from there. So, I owe it to him that I got a chance to see real life in front of me, and not everybody is happy in their careers. And not everybody is. We don't know the full fucking story. So, as time passed on, we started getting more information about how this man felt and where he was in his life. And I was right. I felt the same. So, yeah, all I can say is thank you. That's all I can say. I don't think I'll ever meet this guy again, but I could say thank you. So, good times, right? It's so weird, but I'm not joking. You have to stare dangerously into someone's eyes to see the pain, the sickness, and just downright sadness in a person's eyes, in their face, in their mannerisms. You gotta see it. People show that to you all the time, but I think everyone's so busy and caught up in this bullshit, you don't get a chance to fucking talk to people. People tell you stories all the fucking time without saying any words whatsoever. And they're great stories. Some are very fucking heart-wrenching, but just listen, observe, and I think that you might find something. You will take something away from it, and that's what I did. I took some things away from that encounter, from me just staring into a fucking monitor in a real life situation, and it provided me an opportunity, and it gave me the fucking balls to just go, fuck it, I'm done. I know that I'm hurt. I know that I've been hurt for quite some time. It's time for me to leave. Let's do something else, man. So, again, thank you. And, yeah, on to the next stuff. So, thanks.
If at all through my journey, any of my personal choices or decisions related to my life made you feel disappointed or let down, let me just say, I understand. If you all try to understand that I was never gonna get healthy physically, mentally, spiritually, or emotionally, staying in the same place that got me sick in the first place.
So, earlier I mentioned how everyone's putting on a performance of a lifetime, right? And we don't know who's truly happy anymore. If you haven't been able to tell already, I am a pessimistic optimist. That's just me. I just think that people are fucked up. And I can't help but see the bad in certain things. No apologies from my end. Although all that shit is terrible, we know that social media in the entertainment world is fucking people up left and right. I do try and find the silver lining. I do try and find some optimistic things online. It's out there. You just got to really look for it instead of all the negative bullshit. But I do read some pretty inspiring stories online about positive outlooks on people's lives. You know, people are posting about their meaning of value, which is great. Getting the respect they deserve from the companies they work so fucking hard for. I do think that we are finally understanding our worth in the professional world. You get it? Like, this isn't the fucking 1950s. So people just going by the traditions and doing the graduate from high school, possibly go to college, get a job, get married, have kids, blah, 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 white picket fence, yada, yada, yada. Like, that's just... people want more. People are noticing that they want more, and there's nothing wrong with that. So we shouldn't have to fake this shit anymore. We just shouldn't. I think go with what your gut tells you. If it's telling you to get out, then get the hell out of there and go do something else. We all know it's going to be tough, but I'd rather take the long way home and hurt myself for someone else's perception of happiness. Does that make sense? To me, I think that is pretty goddamn punk rock. That's some punk rock shit. I'm not talking about the colorful, hair dye, mohawk shit. That shit's cool and all, but using your brain to outsmart the people that are trying to make you sick, the ones that are actually making you sick, like that's some fucking punk rock shit, man. I'm a fan of it. And speaking of punk rock shit, and punk rock, there's this band. They are no longer active, I'm pretty sure. They're from the Bay Area. Their name is Replica. I had the pleasure of finding them randomly back whenever, 2013, I think, 14, whenever MySpace became like a music platform in a way. And they just showed up on there. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And yeah, they had like some 7 inches out there, and then they threw out like an EP, and I guess like their first self-titled, then the EP, I think. But this is off of their EP called Beast. But they are a really cool punk rock band. I wish that they were still around. And this song that I'm about to play, it's called Imagine Sisyphus. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go a little Greek mythology, just a little bit. And I hope you enjoy it. I really do. So, be productive, stay safe, be kind to one another, and I will hopefully see you guys later. And yeah, don't blink, guys. This is punk rock, so if you blink, you're gonna fucking miss it. Here we go. Imagine Sisyphus. Alright, peace.
People that worship